In this video, I'm going to walk you through the way that your Social Security benefit is taxed based on your income level. So let's jump right into this calculator here. We're going to run through a couple different scenarios at different income levels. I'll tell you about the brackets, if you're single, if you're married, and all the little nuances that go into how your Social Security tax is calculated. So let's understand the thresholds first. The first threshold starts at $25,000 if you're single, and if you're married, it starts at $32,000. And that goes if you're married up to 44. If you are single, that 25 threshold goes up to 34. And what this means is what we're trying to figure out is based on where your income falls, you're either going to get taxed at 50% of your Social Security check or 85% of your Social Security check. Under 25,000 for single and under 32,000 for married, there's no tax, so you don't have to worry. But once you get into this middle zone here, the 50% taxable section, what that means is they'll take the entirety of your Social Security check, cut it in half, and that 50% is what the tax is going to be due on. So the rest you're free to go with. So let's run through an example, put some real numbers to this so you can understand what I'm saying. Let's just take, for example, if your Social Security check is $2,000 per month. And in this case, we're going to look at a single filer who's making $100,000 a year. Now let's understand where that $100,000 is coming from before we look at the tax. The $100,000 is calculated from any active employment, wages, or self-employment income, pension payments, any retirement account withdrawals, also interest and dividends, of course. And in this case, even tax-exempt interest is considered income when Social Security is running these calculations. So that's things like interest on municipal bonds. Now, on top of all these, they're also going to run a calculation for what half of your total benefit is, and they're going to throw that on top. So in this case, you would have an extra $12,000 thrown on top of all your other income sources, because I'm just taking 2,000, multiplying it by 12 months, which is 24,000, and then cutting it in half. So at $100,000, the single filer, that puts him into the 85% tax bracket. So what that means is of his $24,000 that he's going to receive over the course of the year, he's going to get taxed on 85% of it. And on the monthly level, we just have that broken out here. So that $2,000 a month, what he's going to be taxed on from that $2,000 is $1,626. How that works out in the numbers is his total check starting at $24,000, which is his total Social Security income, is going to end up being $19,512 because he's getting taxed roughly $4,500 on that benefit. So just here's a visual representation of his income where the Social Security benefit is landing and the percent that it's being taxed on because of the bracket that it's sitting in. And so that's the simple equation. You just need to figure out first what bracket you're landing in. Are you being taxed on 0? Are you being taxed on 50% of your Social Security? Or are you being taxed on 85% of it? And that's pretty easy to run your numbers against these thresholds. So again, for a single filer, it's 25,000 up to 35. The reason why this might matter to you really only comes down to if you don't need this money. If your income really is high enough where taking your check at 67, full retirement age, is just, a cherry on top, and you're going to just take this money and throw it in investments or throw it in the bank or not really have any specific living expense use for it, this is a situation where you might consider foregoing taking that benefit until age 70. Keep in mind that every year that you wait is going to be an 8% increase on that Social Security check. So if $2,000 a month is what you would receive at age 67, you can tack on 8% every year up until age 70. And then in that case, at 70, there's no reason to delay beyond that because that's where your benefit stops growing. But at 67, if you have a bunch of other income, you don't necessarily need the Social Security money. This just brings up the point of, should we wait? Does it make sense to wait based on how much we're getting taxed on this benefit if we're not going to be using it anyway. So just something to think about. I hope this was helpful. If you want to talk more about your specific situation, or if you want to throw your numbers into this calculator and have us walk through it with you, no problem. You can find us at pasnau.com. That's PASNAU.com. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ben. I'm a certified financial planner here in Connecticut, and you can always email me at ben@pasnauinvestments.com. I'll put our website and I'll put my email in the description below, and feel free to leave a comment as well if you want. I'll try to get to as many of these as possible. All right, see you in the next one.